Legal issues are common, and attorneys are expensive. Legal Shield offers access to experienced attorneys to assist you at a fraction of the cost that you would pay otherwise. The Legal Shield mobile app makes accessing legal services easier by putting a dedicated law firm in the palm of your hand. Using the mobile app, you can call your dedicated law firm to discuss personal legal matters from neighbor disputes to consumer finance matters and more. Legal Shield provides 24/7 legal access to an attorney in emergency situations. You can upload and send documents for legal review, such as rental agreements and speeding tickets, and even begin to prepare your will with the available questionnaires. Members and non-members alike can access our free legal forms, create and send legally binding agreements, and use our virtual legal chatbot to receive answers to commonly asked legal questions. Legal protection is just a tap away with the Legal Shield mobile app.
Hey, good day. Welcome to another episode of Rob Report. I'm your host, Robert Bob TV Brown. How you doing today? Well, like, share, subscribe right now. Do it now. Support the channel. PayPal.me/BobTVNYC, all caps. Any amount is appreciated. Become a patron, $5, Patreon channel, extra content, new shows coming up. You'll get access to it. How you doing today? Well, a lot of stuff been going on. Boy. Got Joe Biden getting mad at a person asking him simple questions again, as usual. I was going to show the video, but I got too much stuff to talk about. Elizabeth Warren lying on Bernie. Backfired. He raised more money. Popularity goes up huge. Biden's scared. Bernie's taking the lead, and he don't know what to do. Bernie hit him with a truthful ad about his record of trying to either freeze or cut Social Security and Medicare, that every black person who all for pro-Joe but wants to cut somebody if they mess with their Social Security, then you need to look at Joe Biden, because Joe Biden habitually stood there on the Senate floor, talked about how he tried to at least freeze it, if not cut it, freeze it once, twice, 3, 4 times. So Bernie Sanders came up with that ad after apologizing, which he shouldn't have never done, man. Bernie, you don't know whether a person's corrupt or not. You're not hanging around with them all the time. You don't know the people they deal with. You're not married to him. He is not Jane Sanders. So you don't know what Trump would do, and you don't know what Biden will do. You only can assume. And I do a lot of assuming concerning Trump. I assume I assume that if a black man touch a faucet, I assume he'll pull out his handkerchief and wipe the faucet down before he turn it on, or pull out his rubber gloves. But then again, I can't assume that, because I seen him hug up and shake the hands of Michael Jackson and 50 Cent and Snoop Dogg. I've seen that, but that don't mean he don't go somewhere and spray his hand down. See, I don't know. I don't know. So you can't say that about Joe Biden. I mean, this really get me. People, they're just so strung out on Biden because he was with Barack Obama. Really? The reason Barack Obama picked Joe Biden, because Joe Biden loved to tout he picked me in front of black people, but never tell the reason why he picked him. He was the strategy. Obama, the black man who come from white parents from the Midwest, Kansas, Toto and Dorothy Town, whose dad is a black African Kenyan smart guy, met in college, did the doo-wop, and gave birth to Barack Obama. He knew he could not win the Midwest. He's not going to get somebody on a Republican ticket because we're tribal. We don't do stuff like that. I got to get a Democrat. Not going to get an independent. And one of the first people that came out for Barack Obama was Bernie Sanders, independent. Same Bernie Sanders came out for Jesse Jackson. When nobody would come out for the black guy, Bernie Sanders was there. That's why I say I got to give credit good due. We can all, I mean, some of us can call him a racist, but this racist have supported black people for office and helped to get them elected and didn't ask for nothing in return. Not on record. And my only two problems I got with Bernie Sanders is that the reparation issue and the crime bill. That's it. It's a hard two. It's hard for me to get over it. I want apologies for at least the crime bill. I accept your answer on the reparations. And I can understand why. You try to get it for your people and Congress shut you down. Now you figure they ain't gonna be able to do that for us. Well, I support Clyburn's bill. Joe Biden could not win the Midwest. That's why, I mean, Obama could not win Trump country. That's what we call the Midwest right now. That's why he picked Joe Biden. Hillary Clinton could not win it. She did a stupid mistake with getting Tim Kaine. You're going to get a corporate suck up that hurt the Midwest on your vice president team when Bernie Sanders was beating you in the Midwest? Wouldn't it make sense for you to put on your ticket the person that beats you in huge margins in the Midwest? And people, she talking about Russia, or Bernie didn't do enough, blaming everybody. No, you just suck as a strategist. You just do stuff out of spite. You just couldn't fathom Bernie Sanders running against you and then going out there campaigning for you. You wouldn't even make this man your VP so you can win the Midwest. You left it wide open for Trump to win, and that's how he won the election. And that's the reason why Obama picked Biden. Because Obama could not do that without Biden. It wasn't because Biden liked black people and Biden gets us. Get out of there with that stuff. Political strategy. And he had to live with that for 4 to 8 years. So he tried to act like he's just as cool. Keep telling you people, go check people record. All right, so let's look at this again. Don Lemonhead, lemon juice, lemon lime, talks about some very important issues on CNN. Now, Don Lemon is talking about the impeachment situation, and he's trying to say it's covered under the cloud of darkness. This impeachment with the Senate now look like it's a setup. Look like it's being framed to go Donald Trump's way. It's covered under a cloud of darkness. Everything is about Trump not doing it the right way. As if you guys ever learned how to do it the right way. The same Jerry Nadler was all up in arms over the Bill Clinton impeachment, and Bill did actually break the law, lying under oath. But anyway, let me get into this thing.
To go until the Senate gets down to the real business of the impeachment trial of President Donald Trump. But we've got major news tonight on just how the trial will play out. Okay, so we're going to tell you about that. It looks like Mitch McConnell is determined to keep most Americans from seeing and hearing this historic event for themselves, with new rules that mean opening arguments would happen in the middle of the night, literally under the cover of darkness. You got to wonder what he's trying to hide. Tomorrow.
Well, to be truthful, Don Lemon, none of y'all should be advertising this just to get ratings. You guys don't mind this. You guys love the sensationalism because it gets you rating. It gets you more sponsor money and things like that. Senate trials should not be on primetime TV. Senate trials should be during the daytime on C-SPAN, C-SPAN 1, C-SPAN 2, on the radio. You should not be using this trial to make money, because this makes politicians want to use the media to shame another politician. And you guys love it because it's a two-way street. You do the shaming, we'll televise it. We both make money. We both get what we want. They know this impeachment thing is going to hit at the poll numbers of Trump. The moment they impeach Trump, his favorability ratings went up. People are upset because they have not gone drastically down. This whole impeachment on these particular charges, which is whack as crap, they're legitimate charges you can get Trump on, but you're scared to get him on that because you yourself have violated. Most of the people in Washington, D.C. has violated the Monument Clause. And most of the people in Washington, D.C. has abused their powers when it came to financing. So the old philosophy says, accuse the person for something that you've done. You accuse him first. That way the eyes off of you when you do it. That's what this whole Joe Biden Ukraine thing is all about. Joe Biden held money, used his power, abuse of power, to get his son, a prosecutor fired that was investigating the son's company that he worked on the board on. Trump doing an investigation on that, and they want to give him the crime of what Joe Biden went. Lock them both up. Neither one of y'all should be. This should not be on prime time. This should be on regular time. This should be on C-SPAN. He's getting mad because he feel most people won't be able to see it. Who cares? Who cares who see the impeachment trial? I'm not watching that crap. Either you're going to impeach the dude, don't impeach it. I'm not spending my energy watching this. You want people to watch it so your ratings can go up, so your sponsors can be happy. And you mad at Mitch McConnell, and I can't stand Mitch McConnell, Mr. Turtle, who got no neck. He got a fine Asian white boy, I tell you, his wife fine. But that's another story. But she's a Republican and I don't eat no pork. Don Lemon is getting upset because Mitch McConnell decided that he wants this trial to go down during non-prime time hours, keeping it out of the media. And what the Democrats is doing, they're using this impeachment trial to keep people off the campaign trail. As long as this impeachment trial is going, Bernie Sanders is not on the campaign trail. Elizabeth Warren is not on the campaign trail. Amy Klobuchar is not on the campaign trail. Kamala Harris dropped out. They're at the impeachment hearing. Cory Booker dropped out. Impeachment hearing. But Joe Biden and Pete Buttigieg, who is open to be his vice president, they're on the campaign trail doing their thing. Bernie Sanders got to wait till the weekends, or he got to send his surrogates. Same thing with the rest of them. And y'all don't know what y'all doing? You worried about Mitch McConnell keeping people from seeing this impeachment, which hurts your dollars and your ratings. That's more important than keeping these people running for office out of the impeachment trial, letting them go on the campaign trail to talk about what they're going to do for the American people. Got some, these people, boy, I tell you.
It will be all about debate on McConnell's resolution. Then opening arguments begin on Wednesday. House impeachment managers and senators will be on the floor for hours and hours, fighting just to stay awake. McConnell's plan allows each side 24 hours to make their opening arguments. But they only have 2 days to use that time, which means trial day is scheduled to start at 1 p.m., could easily stretch until 1 in the morning or later. Is the majority leader deliberately trying to push senators to the breaking point? I mean, after all, there's no reason that opening arguments have to be done in 2 days for each side. No reason.
So he worrying about time frame. All right, so he's going to keep these people up. So the Senate Majority Leader, Mitch McConnell, is keeping people up. Man, I don't give a crap. You realize how many working people work 2-3 jobs trying to pay bills, and you think these people can't stay up for a trial for impeachment? You worried about that? Come on, Don, man, come on.
And really, unless you want the trial to be over and done with as soon as possible.
And what is wrong with that, bruh? Why got to be dragged out? You wasting people's money. You didn't drag this House impeachment out. You guys were so quick to get this House impeachment done. It was ridiculous. But now you want to drag it out in the Senate? You don't want the Senate to hurry up and do it just as quick as you guys. Now, you don't want the Senate to do it quick as you guys did it in the House because you know it will benefit Trump and he would be exonerated on these particular charges. And look, let's say he is exonerated on these two stupid charges. Go get real true charges on this guy. You talk about it on the news and shame anybody, Republican, Democrat, who committed that same crime. You want to stick this one crime, these two crimes on a president that has been done by other people that's in office. Joe Biden. You want to focus on that and not focus on both sides going through this.
The House applauding the plan, which after all gives the president exactly what he wants. A trial that could be over well before the State of the Union.
And you all about never ever giving him what he wants. You sound just like a Republican talking about Obama, not trying to give him what he wants. Of course he want a speedy trial. Of course he want to be exonerated. Of course he thinks it's a foolish charge because, contrary, it is. Of course there are stronger charges you can get Trump on, but you don't want to go that route. You want to put somebody in jail for life for drug paraphernalia.
The State of the Union is February 4th. And that's not all. There's no guarantee of witnesses or even evidence from the House. McConnell's plan doesn't even allow the Senate to vote on witnesses until after both sides present their opening argument.
Why do the House figure they need to bring their witnesses into the Senate impeachment trial when they had their witnesses in the House impeachment trial? If your witnesses wasn't able to get it done there, what make you think they can get it done in the Senate? You don't think the people in the Senate didn't go over this stuff? You don't think they watched this? You think they're going to move any needle on the minds of these Republicans when the Republicans were already screaming that this is an unfair impeachment, and they talked about the reason why it was unfair and how it violated the Constitution under high crimes and misdemeanors? They didn't hear what was going on in the impeachment trial? But you want them to hear the same witnesses in the Senate trial. I'll be like, well, I got to hear people I already heard from before. You got anybody new? What is your new witness? We'll hear from your new witness. What is your new witness? But I already heard from this guy. I know exactly what he's going to say. Like Eminem on 8 Mile. I know exactly what you're going to say.
Then there are 16 hours of questions by senators, which they can only ask through Chief Justice John Roberts, who is presiding over the trial. The Senate only votes after all that on whether to consider any motion to subpoena witnesses or documents. Democrats and the Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, they're calling the whole thing a cover-up.
It is now certain that Leader McConnell is going along with President Trump's cover-up, hook, line, and sinker.
All right, so just because they didn't believe your bull crap in the House hearing, just because the witnesses wasn't enough to move them, Mitch McConnell is working for the president. Now, I don't like Mitch. And Mitch is a Trump suck-up because Trump give Mitch whatever he want. But they're covering things up because they want a speedy trial, and they already heard your witnesses. Where were their witnesses? Did you allow any of their witnesses to come during a House hearing? No. You only had your witnesses. But you expect your witnesses to take the dominancy in the Senate trial when you wasn't willing to hear their witnesses, Trump witnesses, in the House impeachment trial. We don't want to hear from your witnesses. But as the Senate said, we'll hear them. So you're trying to say somebody's trying to cover up. Did you just say that, Chuck Schumer?
When you look at his resolution, it's no wonder he delayed it till the last minute. He didn't want people to study it or know about it. After reading McConnell's resolution, it's clear McConnell is hell-bent on making it much more difficult to get witnesses and documents, and intent on rushing the trial through. On something as important and serious as impeachment, Senator McConnell's resolution is a national disgrace.
So since this is important, why you didn't allow Trump witnesses? If it's important, why you didn't subpoena Trump and let Trump refuse the subpoena and let it go to another court? I'm still trying to figure out, why is Trump not obligated as the chief authority figure in the United States to look into a self-confessed crime of abuse of power by Joe Biden, caught on video at a foreign relations affair, bragging about how he had the power to give Ukrainian officials guaranteed money, but he wasn't going to give it to him unless he give him something. And that something is fire the prosecutor. If you don't fire him, you ain't getting the money. Well, son of a gun, he was fired. Why is it wrong for Trump to investigate that, to have DOJ or the FBI to investigate that? That is a crime. How is that not a crime, but it's a crime if you said he used money to get dirt on his opponent? Baby, I'm not getting dirt. I just got some information on your opponent and it happens to have dirt all on top of it. That ain't my fault. I didn't have to get the dirt. It's like the wet with the water. Of course, when I drink water, my tongue will be wet. Of course, the dirt is going to come with the dirty person, the crooked person. And for you people who think Donald Trump is corrupt and Joe Biden is not corrupt, and y'all taking sides, I just don't know what to say, because it is proven that he said this and he bragged about it and he ain't going to be able to run from it. And this will go on through the impeachment hearing. And Trump making the decision to investigate it will be found that he did not do anything wrong. Who cares? He can't help that it happens to be somebody that's running for office. Ain't nobody tell Joe Biden to run for office. Joe ran for office. To me, all you crooked politicians, Trump, Joe Biden, all y'all need to be in jail. Let me keep going.
And Chuck Schumer vowing to fight for amendments tomorrow, but the fact is Mitch McConnell is likely to get his way since he is in the majority. He has the majority. Democrats would need 4 Republicans to join them, and it is clear that McConnell wouldn't have put this resolution out if he didn't have the votes.
You had Democrats that decide not to vote for the impeachment on the House hearing. Get out of here, man. This is not good. This is bipartisan. Impeachment should not be bipartisan. Until you can get a certain amount from both sides of the party in the House and in the Senate to agree on this thing, it shouldn't be going forward. Now, I told you numbnuts how to get Trump over and over again, but you, the news media, won't do that, because you'll find out in your investigation of all the people who making money while in office, you'll find out the top ones there is Nancy Pelosi. 100 million plus as a politician, whose son worked for Burisma also, with Joe Biden's dope smoking, snorting son.
All taking place in the middle of the night. No guarantee of witnesses or evidence. All of it turning the impeachment trial, only the third such trial in our history, into a mockery. But let's not forget what we have already heard. Let's not forget the evidence we have heard. We've heard it out loud from the president on the White House lawn, calling for Ukraine to investigate his political enemies and throwing in China for good measure.
Here we go again, calling for Ukraine to investigate his political enemy. No, Joe just happened to be a person running for office. Trump never called him a political enemy. Why people that we're running against have to become our enemy? Did Barack Obama call John Kerry? I mean, did he call John McCain his political enemy? You guys made up this term. You guys pulled this term out in fabric of your from your behind because you hate Trump that bad and you'll do anything to get this guy out of office. Anything. I'm for getting this guy office, but do it by the law. I'm not with this any means necessary when it comes to this crap. Now, when it comes, but you guys said get rid of Trump by any means necessary. You done took Malcolm X's mantra and made it political for getting people out of office. We got to get this Trump out by any means necessary. There's no political enemy. Might be a political opponent, might be political, but that don't mean they're your enemy. But Trump is your enemy. And Trump asking for an investigation of right or wrongdoing is not illegal. And it's not even wrong by character. Who cares if the person running for office or not? Trump still he not only have the right to do it, he should do it. He should. Anybody that's using their power to control another country's action should be investigated and if found guilty, charged. Trump, Biden, Obama, it doesn't matter. Abusing your power should be an offense that will impeach you. It should be an offense that will incarcerate you.
Well, I would think that if they were honest about it, they'd start a major investigation into the Bidens. It's a very simple answer. And by the way, likewise.
And he's right, Don Lemon Juice. If you're being fair, you're going to investigate me? Investigate that, because all I did was try to investigate that and you guys getting upset and you're trying to do whatever you can to stop me. And if I'm vindicated, I'm going to continue to have it investigated. That's why Donald Trump is like, look, go ahead and go ahead and impeach me. I got some people I want to call to the stand. And I hope it's Joe Biden and Hunter Biden. And Joe Biden said, look, I'm not going to no stand. Why not? You gonna do like Trump? I mean, you got a right to not show up. But that's not gonna help your case.
China should start an investigation into the Bidens.
And he's right, because Biden's brother, another quid quo pro helping people out, was doing business with China. So you got Joe Biden doing business with Ukraine, no experience, just got kicked out of the military for snorting cocaine, left his wife, and now he ain't got nothing to do but drugs and whoring up. He gets a job in Ukraine. And whom his dad happened to be doing business with the Ukrainian government. Oh, Joe Biden is your daddy? Oh yeah, you work for us, you work for us, you work for us. Same thing with China. Oh, President Joe Biden, Vice President Joe Biden, your brother. Oh yeah, you can work for us. Man, I wish I can get a job that easy.
Because what happened in China is just about as bad as what happened with Ukraine.
Facts.
Let's not forget the acting chief of staff, Mick Mulvaney, telling
Don, is that true or not true? Do you have evidence to prove that he's wrong? Even you know how Trump a devilish person, but he ain't the devil. Because sometimes he tells some freaking truth. Most of the time he lied to crack his behind in both his ears, nose, and mouth. But sometimes he tell the truth. There should be investigations in China concerning Biden's brother and his shady relationship in China. It should be a investigation on Biden's son and the shady relationship with Burisma. Not only that, it should be an investigation on Nancy Pelosi's son and her shaky investigation with Burisma. It should be an investigation into Trump's kid, Ivanka and Jared, in the investigation between them and Saudi Arabia. These rich politicians on both sides always getting their kids jobs who got no experience. You out there busting your behind every day on Indeed, Monster, and all that trying to get a job. Who's helping you? Yeah, y'all want to sit there and take side. I don't think nothing wrong with that. I don't think Elizabeth Warren saying, I'm not going to comment on that. Oh, you ain't going to comment on that because your daughter worked for an organization that gave money to the Working Family Party and they just endorsed you. Talking about quid pro quo, scratch my back, I'll scratch your back. Republicans and Democrats alike doing it, and y'all sitting up there taking sides and talking about what I can't stand whataboutism. Shout out to Lisa Lord, my old high school friend. She was like, Robert, I'm not a fan of Joe Biden, but I'm tired of this whatism. Whataboutism. What about this person? What about that person? I'm not about that. I'm looking at everybody. Anybody that's doing this need to be on the table. There is no what about when it comes to criminals and corruption and low-key thuggery. Martin Luther King said injustice anywhere is injustice everywhere. Injustice is not just only in the Republican Party, it's in the Democratic Party too. In any other party. That's why I don't support parties. You can find it on every job site. You can find it in every household. You can find it in every church. Injustice. And if you don't do something about it, it's going to continue to grow. And if you don't deal with these numbnut, crooked politicians on both sides and stop taking sides for them, it's going to continue to go, and you're enabling this. Now, Don Lemon can't answer my question because Don Lemon don't investigate. They got a teleprompter. They get paid to read whatever's in that teleprompter. I don't have a teleprompter. There's no evidence, nothing. No documentation, none of that. And if they do documentation, it's little Alex Jonas. All you do is sit there and say, this has been debunked, this haven't been proved, he was exonerated, and you never tell me how. And you expect me to believe it just because you said it.
Americans to get over it. That the administration held up money for Ukraine to get an investigation of a conspiracy theory about the DNC.
Why is that a conspiracy theory? The DNC is known for its crookery. The DNC was exposed for its crookery. Thanks to Julian Assange, who you wish you can get your hand on so you can make him pay for exposing all you crooks for the crooks that you do, including the media. Donald Brazil and Roland Martin sitting up there being handed debate questions for Hillary Clinton before the debate and prepping her for those questions. It's not a conspiracy. This stuff y'all making up is conspiracy. Russia is a conspiracy. This thing about Trump threatening Ukraine to get dirt on his opponent is a conspiracy. And if he did, he need to be investigated and thrown in jail right along with Biden. Biden the one sat on that platform at that event, at that forum, and said he did that. That was a crime. That was an abuse of power as the vice president. Nobody wanted to touch it. Trump said, I came here to drain the swamp. I'm going to kiss the butt of my workers, which my supporters, which is okay. I'm not your supporter, but you should be out there giving what your supporters demand in order to get another turn at the seat. So he said, okay, I'm going to invest Joe Biden in this. He said it. I need to look into it because that is clearly an abuse of power. Somebody probably told him, said, look, I don't know if you want to do that. You are running against the guy. And he probably said, look, it don't matter. What he did was wrong. It ain't got nothing to do with whether I'm running against him or not. That shouldn't even be talked about. You guys decide to make it something to be talked about and make it seem like he's trying to get on dirt on his political opponent when his political opponent, Hillary Clinton, got dirt on him about the PP dossier. But nobody's saying nothing about her. Nobody's investigating her. Nobody taking her to court. My whole point is most of these people that you're trying to defend on both sides are crooks. And anybody tied to any kind of stuff like that need to be investigated, Democrat and Republican. Trump's supposed to come over there and drain the swamp. It's kind of hard to drain the swamp when you're a swamp creature yourself. You drain the swamp, how you gonna breathe? You got gills. Swamp Thing can't survive out the swamp too long. You ever watch Swamp Thing? You ever seen the cartoon, the comic books? He can't survive outside the water. He got to go back in the swamp. So how Trump, being a swamp creature, can drain the swamp?
Did he also mention to me in the past the corruption related to the DNC server? Absolutely, no question about that. But that's it, and that's why we held up the money.
To be clear, you just described.
And he have every right to find out where that server is because they used that server against him. He have every right to look at that server to see if the DNC committed some crimes in the election, if they rigged the election. I'm thinking he should do that anyway because it rigged the 2016 election. I would want to see it too. I will look forward to. I will ask the Ukrainian government and say, look, I heard you guys if you got it, can I get it? Why is that a crime? Why is that impeachable? That's not a high crime misdemeanor because you're trying to look for the DNC server to see what's on it. That's an authority thing. That's a cop thing. That's a true investigation. That is not illegal.
Is a quid pro quo. It is funding will not flow unless the investigation into the Democratic server happens as well.
We do that all the time with foreign policy. I have news for everybody. Get over it. There's going to be political influence in foreign policy.
Now, they took that and chopped it up every which way but loose. Sure, I'm funding you. I'm a federal government. I fund you. In that message, all Trump talked about was the good things he did for them. We as Americans have done so much great things for Ukraine. All Trump talked about was how the other countries are not willing to go as far as the United States are going. I listened to it. I read the transcript. He said, well, since we're doing you solid, I heard there's a server in Ukraine. Could you look into that? He did not say if you don't look into it, you're not getting any money. Joe Biden did say if you don't get this guy fired, you're not getting any money. So you can sit there with your smirk on your face, Don Lemon. You ain't got nothing on this guy. You don't. Not in this. This is destined to fail. It is destined to fail. Then you got to go back to the drawing board. You've been trying to get rid of this guy since day one, and I get it. I get it. I really do get it. But I'm not willing to be a dirty cop to get somebody arrested, because at the end of the day, you will get arrested for planting stuff on criminals. Trump is a criminal, and you figure you got to catch this guy. And you doing criminal things to try to get him out of office. There's nothing wrong with going for the server. He never told the government that he's going to withhold the money. All he talked about was how good the United States has been to them. And he probably says, look, we've been good to you. Just do me a favor. You're still going to get the money. I'm not going to stop that. But, hey, scratch my back. Scratch my back. There's nothing wrong with a quid pro quo as long as it don't involve abuse of power. Our whole entire lifespan is about helping each other out. Scratch my back, scratch your back. I got you. You got me. Thank you. I got your back, bro. I got yours too. Life is like that, Don Lemon. Nothing's wrong with that, Don Lemon. Trump telling the Ukrainian president, yeah, I really appreciate you guys working with us. You know, those other countries, they crappy. I mean, they need to do a little more for you. We always got your back, though. We always got your back. But look, and then the president of Ukraine, who happens to be a comedian, happens to be a performer like Trump. He said, yeah, you're right, you know. And he said, Mr. President, is there anything I can do for you? Trump said, look, you guys got a server I heard over there. If you guys can find that server and give it to me, really, really appreciate it. Did not mention anything in there about if you don't, I'm going to withhold the money. Joe Biden said, if that prosecutor's not fired, you ain't getting the money. They said, you don't have the authority, Joe Biden. Joe Biden said, the president gave me the authority. You don't believe me? Let's talk to the president. Why did Joe Biden want this guy to get fired? Because this guy was investigating Burisma, whom his son, the coke snorting, crack smoking son who got kicked out of the military, sits on the board of, who have not done anything to be on that board. No record, nothing. Is that my dad is Joe Biden. As long as I'm here, you got direct access to the president. Now, don't get me wrong. Trump is the same way with Ivanka and Jared. This is one thing I can say about Jared. Jared and his company own billions of dollars here in New York City. He worked for his money. Even if it's corrupt, he worked. Hunter Biden, come on, dog. The dude sits on a board that pays him $50,000 a month, and he ain't got to do nothing but show up once every 90 days. What kind of gig can I get where I can show up once every 90 days, have a 2-hour meeting, later on go out clubbing, get drunk, get some Russian, Ukrainian prostitutes, go back and do my thing, see you in the morning, and go back to the United States? Where in the world can I get that job? I don't snort no dope, though. But man, I get come to a meeting once every 90 days, talk board crap, sign off on some things. Hey, Jim, I see you at 7 o'clock. We're going to go out to the club, party with some Ukrainian women, take them back to the hotel, bada boom, bada bang. Wake up the next morning, give her a little money. I get on my plane, I'm back in the United States for another 90 days, yet I'm still getting $50,000 a month. America. Only in America, when your dad's the vice president, can you get that kind of favor. Same thing with Jared Kushner. Jared Kushner was able to get all these business dealing with the Saudis. Linda McMahon right now, her husband, Vince McMahon, the owner of the WWE, get to do all these never before Saudi American collaborations with wrestling because of Linda donating to Trump. Scratch my back, I scratch your back. Washington, D.C. is based on scratch my back, scratch your back. You give me a whole bunch of donations, I'm going to see if I can do something for you, but shh, don't tell nobody. This between me and you.
Let's not forget Ambassador Gordon Sondland testifying under oath that there was a quid pro quo.
And there's nothing illegal about a quid quo pro. What's illegal is you using your power to withhold funding to get somebody fired or to get something out of somebody. To actually say, we're going to hold this from you until you give me what I want. Joe Biden did that. Trump, according to the transcripts, you can look it up, you can read it. It's hard to interpret it because the language of Trump is so freaking simple, it's ridiculous. He has a simpleton language. He don't talk in big philosophical, theological, oratorical words. He doesn't. He don't have the perpendicular talk of a Barack Obama. He don't talk like this, and he don't say, hey, oh, Michelle, Sasha, Leah, we're going to be going on to Martha Vineyard. We just bought a $24 million house, and we're going to invite Jay-Z, and we're going to shake it off our shoulders. He don't talk like that. Trump is a New York thug gangster from Queens. Scratch my back, that is not a crime. If you don't give me, you do me a favor. If you don't do me this favor, then I'm not giving you the money. That is a crime. Don Lemon.
Was there a quid pro quo? As I testified previously, with regard to the requested White House call and the White House meeting, the answer is yes.
But in the face of all this, it looks like the president will get...
And he's right. Why is that a shocker? There's nothing wrong with quid pro quo. There's nothing wrong with scratch my back, scratch your back. Is everything wrong when you say either you're going to do this for me or I'm not giving you this? That's beyond a quid pro quo. That's abuse of power. That's embezzlement, whatever you want to call it.
Exactly what he wants. A short impeachment trial, most of it under the cover of darkness, followed by swift acquittal. That's what the president wants.
And if I was the president, that's what I would want. If you was the president, Don Lemon, it's what you would want. You do not want this thing in the media because it would damage prime time, because it would damage your ratings. It would damage your favorabilities as president, and the Democratic Party knows this. That's why they want this on primetime TV, so you guys can hit at them over this impeachment. And to drag it out would make it even better. If you guys can have it during prime time between 3 and 11 at night, 3 p.m. and 11 at night, if you can have this in the continuous cycle, it will hurt him, bring his favorables down. It will make you a bunch of money. Your ratings going to go up. You guys get to talk about it 13 times a day on different panels. All designed to get this man favors down so whoever run against him can beat him badly. This is by design and nobody's dumb. And I get it. It's a smart political strategy, but it's damaging to the fabric of this nation. Mitch McConnell making the decision. I'm telling you, that turtle was real smart. There's a reason why the tortoise beat the hare. Because he's crafty. Mitch McConnell got it done in hours where you can't be prime time. And yes, it's going to be swift. Then you guys going to have to go back to the drawing board and get a new crime. Because this one is not a crime.
But it's not what a majority of Americans want. More than half of Americans, 51%, in our new CNN poll, say the Senate should vote to remove President Trump from office.
Now, remember what I told you in the last video? Anytime they show you poll numbers, find out who's doing the polling. This is a CNN poll. Who's talking? Don Lemon. Who do you work for? CNN. Who is running this show right now? CNN. They did the polling. Should Senate vote to remove Trump from office? Now, my question is, who did you call? They don't show down there who they called. They don't show whether it was all Democrats or was it anybody. I highly doubt that CNN called Republicans and independents. I highly doubt it. I believe that they call all Democrats. And 51% of them say yes, he should be removed. But a whopping 45% says no. Now, what if this was all Democrats? You telling me only half of the Democrats want him removed and the other half say no? You want to know why that's possible? Because some Democrats are not Marks. They vote Democrat, but that don't mean they go with the Democratic narrative all the time. And a lot of people can clearly see quid pro quo is not a crime. Investigating a former leader or leader for abuse of power is not a crime. Using the fact that he's running for office and coming up with the term political opponent to make that a crime, it's kind of shady. But you already impeached the guy over it. It's done. As far as you getting him out of office, it's not going to happen.
Those are the numbers that moderate Republican senators will be looking at as they weigh the question of allowing witnesses.
They did these numbers that moderate Republicans can look at. So Republicans ain't had nothing to do with this poll, especially moderate Republicans. Extreme, see, this is the whole thing. He said these are the polls that moderate Republicans are looking at. So the whole goal of this is to get moderate Republicans to join the side of the Democrats. Because they know they can't get the extreme right. Like they can't guarantee that a Democrat gonna get the extreme left. So they just give up. So they poll Democrats to try to make it seem like this is the world's poll, to try to make it seem like this is a United States Republican, Democrats, independents, non-voters that they called. They rarely call those people. CNN mainly call older Democrats. And if you ask older Democrats whether Trump should be removed out of office, 51% yeah, 45% no. Don Lemon said this is something that moderate Republicans need to look at. Why do they need to look at it? Well, maybe if they believe the narrative that we're spinning, they'll join us this time and not join Trump.
And that's a fact the president and his offenders can't cover up.
People, there you go. Don Lemon pushing this narrative that a quid pro quo is a crime, and there's nothing saying that it's a crime. But yet, they want to use the quid pro quo philosophy as an impeachment tool to say it's a high crime and a misdemeanor, which is the only thing you're supposed to impeach on. With all that being said, it's still one-sided. Mostly Dems voted to get him impeached, not Republicans. Yet they're going to get mad because most Republicans are not going to impeach him, but most of the Dems want him impeached, but because they're in the majority, it's not going to happen. And they want to do whatever they can to make it happen, so they want to change the rules and everything. Last but not least, this is a crime. Asking somebody, telling somebody that they better do something, and if they don't do it, we're going to abuse our power and not give you something that we said we were going to give you. You almost had it. In other words, you don't do what we want you to do, we ain't giving you the money. Joe Biden. If this prosecutor's not fired, that's investigating my son and Nancy Pelosi's son, then we'll fire him. You ain't getting the money if he's not fired. Well, son of a gun, he was fired. And they put in somebody solid. Somebody that can turn the other way probably. Somebody that could probably, you slip him a little son, he'll go the other way. Somebody solid. These are Joe Biden's words. Trump, according to the transcript, talking to another entertainment guy, a jokester, a comedian, who happens to be the Ukrainian president. According to the transcript, they clicked pretty well. I was on Apprentice. I'm a performer, you're a performer, as well as a businessman and president, but I have my own TV show. You're a comedian. I would have loved to have you on The Apprentice. That type of stuff. Conversation. I know you guys really hate me because I always try to keep it down to the truth. Instead of letting media and these numbnuts try to fabricate this stuff, read the transcript or go on YouTube and listen to somebody reenact it, because you could not reenact this conversation in a thug manner. Adam Schiff tried to, and it didn't work. Trump told the guy, you know something, it's a shame other countries don't do stuff for you. We always got your back though. You know, and then he's obliging. Yeah, you know, I'm looking forward to a more bigger relationship with you. You know, we're gonna do whatever we can for the United States, and I know the United States is gonna do something for us, you know. And then Trump said, hey, look, since we're talking about that, look, I heard there's a server that the DNC used pretty much to get at me, but yet they were exposed to their crimes. I mean, if you can get their hand on that server, hook a brother up. Ukrainian president, no problem. You know, we really got your back though. I mean, we're gonna always have your back, Ukraine. There's nothing about it. If you don't get me that server, I'm gonna withhold his money. No, it's just a quid pro quo. We got your back, you got our back, we got a relationship, you got a relationship. If there's anything in the United States that you need from us that could benefit you and your country, I got you. And if there's anything, I mean, if you got anything you need from us, we got you. Well, I heard you got a server from DNC. If you got that, man, hook me up. I need that server because I need to check some things out, man. They've been trying to get me since day one-ish. Day one. And I need to look at that server and find out, wow, who came up with this mess? Who came up with this stuff? I need to get to the bottom of that. There's too much corruption going on in my government, and I need to get to the bottom of it. I came to drain the swamp, even though I'm the biggest swamp creature around. But I still need to find out which other swamp creature trying to attack me. Again, quid pro, scratch my back, scratch your back. That's the way of life. Life should always be like that. We should always have each other's back. But threatening to hold back money to get what you want, that is not a quid pro. That is abuse of power and a political threat. Trump investigating Joe Biden for doing something like that, withholding money from a government in order to get somebody fired, which he confessed, that's a crime. Do he have a right to have it investigated? Yes. Should it matter whether he's an opponent of his or not in the next election? No. Because a crime is a crime. Political opponent or not, you commit the crime, it should be investigated by the authorities, and if it's proven that you committed, you should be prosecuted. But to throw me in jail because I wanted to have somebody investigate? To throw me in jail because I hired somebody to investigate you, Sarge. I'm Robert Brown with the Rob Report. I'll holler at you later. I love you. You have a good day.